So I said it was time to get really moving on this Z, and I was not playing. Today we are going to be priming and painting the Z in one go. Now the goal for the primer wasn't full solid coverage because the paint that's going on is black and it's going to cover up everything else. The main goal for the primer was to get everything somewhat covered so that the paint can adhere correctly and I won't have any chips flying away. We didn't have any issues with the primer, that all laid on thick, so it was time to move on to our paint and prep our paint gun. I started off with a quick little jot on the mask to make sure everything was spraying correctly, and then I did the trunk lid first to figure out my spacing and distance because I'm not too worried about the trunk being perfect because it's got a lot of dents and inconsistencies. For that we moved to the roof, and I did so because I didn't want to be dragging the hose over wet paint if I did everything else first and did the roof last. And then it was time to do the front, which included the hood, and the only issue I had was on the hood. I forgot to get the air compressor time to rebuild air pressure so the paint gun would work, and I ended up just unleashing a stream of paint down the front of the hood. But since everything else was done, we moved on to the rear over fenders, and I started off with priming and then painting them. And the finished result wasn't too bad. We had a little bit of contaminants here and there throughout the car, but keep in mind, this is a storage unit built Grassroots drift car. It is not meant to be perfect, it's just meant to be functional. And I have something pretty interesting planned with some flakes in the clear coat, so I am really excited to move on to the next step and show you guys.